Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Avengers vs. X-Men Consequences issue 5, which is the last of this whole Aftermath miniseries, which has been coming out every week since the end of Avengers vs. X-Men, so it's been 5 weeks since that event. And yeah, but before I talk about that, this issue and start the review, just want to say I have 2 comic books I usually do on Comic Uno that I did on DarkAvengerINC, and that is Freelancer issue 1, and which is a Boom Studios new comic book, and Smallville season 11 issue 7, and that's actually my pick of the week. So in the description below there'll be a link for DarkAvengerINC, so you go check out my reviews and my pick of the week review. And I'm gonna try to feature the Smallville one. I don't know if that will work, but we'll see what happens. Now we go check that out. Usually I do feature my pick of the week. So let's start the review for Avengers vs. X-Men Consequences issue 5. Great art for this. I don't know if I was totally excited because I'm not a humongous Magneto fan, but I love this art. With every cover with this Consequences series, they've had really great art. So yeah, really good art, and I think this is really great for the cliffhanger we did have. It was more like, oh, what's going on with Magneto? What's he doing with Cyclops? You know, so it is a really good cliffhanger, and I think it was a good cover to make us excited from that cliffhanger and kind of remind us of that cliffhanger. But in this issue, we get to see Cyclops escapes jail. We find Hope in Chicago because she's trying to find her father, Cable, and the Avengers like, alright, don't do this, you know, have your normal life. And Hope's like, alright, whatever, I'm going back, you know, whatever. So I think Hope is not going to have a normal life, and I think we'll see that. So, that's a whatever for now. So again, we have that prison break, and we also get to see Hope sees Cable, which was really interesting. We get to see Cable's like, I'll say what he says. I told you it's not your job to watch out for me. I watch out for you, and I am. Nothing will ever change that. So that means Cable's watching out for Hope, and it's not Hope's job to watch out for Cable. I'm sure this is not the last we've seen of those two, and I'm very excited because I think that's something I was most excited with the Consequences, is get to see Cable and Hope together, and I think that's when those two characters are the best, is when they're together. And also we get to see Magneto, Magic, and I think it's only Magneto and Magic and that other, I can't think of her name, but you know, this girl, I can't think of her name because I didn't read Uncanny X-Men for that long, so I know she was Danger, I think it's Danger, but I think she's joining the team also. But Magneto and Magic and Cyclops, they're making their own team, and they're like, alright, well, nothing has changed, but we're gonna make it change. And I think this week, Uncanny X-Men was actually announced that Cyclops is going to be head of a team, so I'm sure that's going to be Magneto, Magic, and kind of the anti-villains of the X-Men, so that should play a really interesting part. You guys know I'm not a big Cyclops fan, but I probably will read the first issue because I feel like that is a title that will impact the Marvel Universe the most. I think it's going to be that, Avengers, and those are going to be the stories where we get to see an impact in the Marvel Universe. And I'm going to try the first issue, see what happens. I don't know if I'll stick with it, but I think this is what Consequences did. It made us excited for different Marvel Now titles. And that, with this last page, I think it's getting us excited for Uncanny X-Men. And they mentioned that he's also going to be in the all-new X-Men, which I don't know like how that's going to work. Is it just Magneto and all them? I think it's also Kitty, so it's like all the X-Men really. It's like Wolverine, and I guess because this is going to be like the main X-Men title, and then, you know, Cyclops has his own title, Wolverine has his own title, so I think that's how it's going to work. So it's going to be one main X-Men title, which will be the all-new X-Men, and then it's going to be, you know, their own team. So I think that's how it's going to work. And I think one of the things that proves that this was just kind of, here's like what's to come for Marvel Now. This is like the bridge to Marvel Now. I think that's what Consequences was that here's Avengers vs. X-Men. Alright, it ended, you know, there's some Marvel Now stuff. Then we got this whole bridge of this is what Marvel Now is going to bring. This is where the titles are going to start. And that's what Consequences was. And I think the way it proves that is that it gives us where these characters are going to go in the end. We get to see Captain America, Wolverine, and Wolverine's Human Mutant Alliance in Uncanny Avengers. So that's, you know, promoting that because we saw Captain America and Wolverine in this issue. Then we're like, follow Wolverine's school, Wolverine and X-Men, which is not a Marvel Now title, and is actually one of the only titles that hasn't been rebooted, which I'm actually happy because it's kind of a newer title anyways. And then we get to see follow Cyclops, Magneto, and Magic's Revolution in All New X-Men. So that's another promotion. And then also something that actually got me excited because I wasn't sure if this was going to happen, but follow Hope and Cable's relationship in Cable and X-Force. So Hope might actually be in, you know, that comic. Probably not in the first issue, but I think that'll be developing for Hope to actually be in a comic with her father, which, again, I think that's where she is the best. So I thought this issue was okay. Again, I'm not a humongous Cyclops fan, and I don't think, I mean, yes, a lot happened, or Cyclops is out of jail. That's a lot happened, but we already predicted that, you know. I think the last 2 issues we predicted that. It's like he's writing this message. We found out in the last issue who he was writing that message to. And I think it's just kind of the conclusion of that bridge. Again, this whole series was a lot better than Avengers vs. X-Men. And I enjoyed this series a lot. And this is a good issue. I don't think it was a perfect issue, but it does what it's supposed to do. It was a bridge, and that's exactly what this series is supposed to do. And that's what it did. And that's why I enjoyed this issue. Again, I'm not a humongous Cyclops fan, so I didn't love this issue, but we get to see Hope, we get to see the Avengers. This is more X-Men consequences than anything, and I stated that in my past reviews, that it's more X-Men, like what happened to them, than it was that, oh, well, this is what happened to Captain America. So it's, again, it's consequences more, this is what happened to Hope, this is what happened to Wolverine, this is what happened to Cyclops, this is what happens to Magneto. And I think it played a really good cliffhanger, because we're like, alright, anti-heroes of the X-Men, that could play a really interesting series, and I think it came in a perfect time because Uncanny X-Men was announced this week. It gets us excited, and I think I give this a 3.5. I thought it was a good issue. The art at times was I think usually when you get close-ups of their faces was You know, the rest of it was okay, but the close-ups were kind of, I think, yeah. You get to see Hope also. That was a little. And I think there's also a Wolverine close-up that I didn't really enjoy. But other than that, like when you didn't have a close-up, the art was really good. And the coloring for it was really good. Let me try to find that. Here's the Wolverine picture. Yeah, that looked a little weird. But other than that, the art was pretty good. Here's another Wolverine close. He looks like he's wearing like makeup. You know, eyeshadow. So that was a little weird for the art. But I still enjoyed it. I'm going to give it a 3.5. I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed this whole series. I think Consequences is definitely worth picking up. Maybe he'll have a collection for it. I think they definitely have a hardcover collection for all the Avengers vs. X-Men stuff. I would just pick up Consequences, if to tell you the truth. If you knew what was going on in Avengers vs. X-Men, find out what happened in that, and then pick up Consequences, because I think that was the better series out of, you know, that main event. And I think it's a really good series to pick up. I give this 3.5. I say pick it up, and hope you guys enjoyed. It's Comic Uno, and guys, don't forget to follow me on Twitter for Comic Uno and the Rand Situations. I'll see you guys later. Bye.